The starship Horizon moved silently through the dark emptiness of space, carrying a crew made up of different alien species who rarely agreed about anything. Life on the ship was usually calm, but everything changed when a new human officer arrived. His name was Cade Mercer. He stepped aboard with a quiet confidence, a neat uniform, and something unusual in his arms, a small black and white cat named Momo. The aliens watched with confusion. Many had never seen a cat before. To them, Momo looked soft, tiny, and fragile, something more like a decorative creature than anything useful. Some even whispered that humans were strange for carrying animals like pets during space travel. Others laughed openly. Cade did not care about their reactions. He simply smiled and let Momo explore the ship. The cat walked around with calm steps, sniffing corners, rubbing against boots, and staring at creatures much larger than her without any fear. The crew included reptilian soldiers from the Dravek Empire, tall insect-like navigators from the Cathari race, pale blue healers from the Solari Union, and several others. They had seen giant war beasts, armored predators, and dangerous alien pets before, but they had never seen a small Earth housecat. That alone made Momo the center of attention. One Dravek warrior, a hulking creature with thick scales, crossed his arms and let out a deep laugh. "This is your mighty human companion, this soft creature. It would not last a second in real combat." Another alien, a Cathari navigator with thin antennae, tilted her head and clicked her mandibles. "It has no claws for hunting. Its teeth are tiny. It is slow. It is useless." A Solari healer gave a polite smile. "It is cute but harmless." Every time someone doubted the cat, Momo simply blinked at them like nothing mattered. Cade gently scratched the cat's head. "You'll be surprised," he said, though his tone remained calm and friendly. "She's stronger than she looks." No one believed him. The ship continued its long journey through a quiet region of space, and soon everyone forgot about the cat, at least for a little while. Days passed, and the Horizon approached a zone known for strange activity. Ships sometimes disappeared there, and sensors often failed. Most travelers avoided the region, but Cade's crew had no choice. Their mission required them to enter the area to gather important data. As they prepared, tension built on the ship. Even the bravest Dravek soldiers felt uneasy. Rumors said the region was home to silkfangs, fast, deadly creatures that fought with sharp limbs and venom. If one boarded a ship, the crew usually did not survive. Many aliens double-checked their weapons. They formed squads, secured doors, and activated barriers. Everyone was ready for a threat. Everyone except Momo, who was sleeping on a console with her tail curled around her body. When the ship crossed into the region, the temperature dropped slightly. Lights flickered. The sensors gave static for a moment. The air felt strange, like something unseen had crawled close. The captain ordered everyone to remain alert. That was when the motion alarms began to sound, sharp, loud, repeating again and again. A figure appeared on the sensor display. Something had boarded the ship without being detected. Something fast, something deadly. A silkfang. The crew immediately panicked. The creature moved quickly along the lower decks, slicing through metal panels like paper. Its thin limbs were sharp like blades. Its body looked like a mix between a spider and a serpent, covered in dark armor plates, its eyes glowing faintly in the shadows. The Dravek warriors rushed forward with their weapons. "Do not let it reach the command deck," the captain shouted. But the silkfang moved too fast. It crawled up walls, slipped through vents, and zigzagged past soldiers before they could fire. Each time the crew thought they had it cornered, it vanished into darkness. The ship echoed with alien shouts. The lights dimmed again. Fear filled the air, and in the middle of it all, Momo woke up. She lifted her head, stretched her legs in a lazy motion, and hopped down from the console. Her tail swayed peacefully behind her as if nothing was wrong. Cade watched her but did not move to stop her. He only whispered, "Go ahead, girl." The aliens could not believe what they were seeing. "Is he sending his pet?" one shouted. "This is madness." Another screamed, but Cade did not look worried. Momo walked down the hall, completely calm. Even as alarm sirens flashed red and soldiers ran past her with guns ready, she moved like it was just another quiet day. Soon she reached a metal corridor where the silkfang had been detected. The corridor was silent. The walls had deep claw marks. A torn panel lay on the floor. The aliens stayed several steps behind the cat, terrified but curious. Suddenly, the silkfang dropped from the ceiling with a loud screech. Its long limbs flexed, its jaws dripping venom. The alien soldiers stepped back, shaking. Momo simply sat down, the silkfang lunged, and everything changed. The cat moved faster than any of the aliens could track. She slid under the Silkfang's strike, leaped up with perfect precision, twisted midair, and landed on the creature's back. Her claws, small but impossibly sharp, struck at a weak spot in the Silkfang's armor. A sound like cracking glass echoed through the corridor. The Silkfang shrieked, staggered, and then collapsed. Silence filled the hall. Momo sat on top of the giant creature, calmly licking her paw. The aliens stared with wide eyes. No one could speak. The Dravak warriors looked embarrassed. The Cathari navigator's antennae twitched in disbelief. Even the captain's jaw dropped. Cade finally walked forward and picked up the cat. She let out a small yawn, as if the entire battle had been nothing more than a minor annoyance. "She's just like that," Cade said softly. "Humans have their own ways of choosing pets." The aliens could only stare, trying to understand how something so small had defeated something so terrifying. And deep inside the ship, new rumors began to spread. Rumors that humans were even more mysterious and dangerous than everyone thought. The news about Momo spread across the horizon faster than any signal. Every alien on the ship had heard the story within an hour. A tiny Earth creature had killed a Silkfang, one of the most feared predators in the region, and had done it with the ease of someone swatting away a fly. Nobody could understand it, nobody could accept it, and nobody could forget it. The Dravak warriors became strangely silent whenever the cat walked past. These large, scale-covered fighters were known for laughing during battles, but now they stepped aside politely to give Momo space. The Cathari navigators, usually calm and logical, kept stealing glances at her, trying to figure out her abilities scientifically. The Solari healers whispered theories in the medbay, wondering if the cat had some kind of unknown human bioenhancement. But humans did not normally modify their pets. Everyone knew that. The only person who acted normal was Cade. He moved through the ship with steady steps, stopping now and then to scratch Momo under the chin or lift her onto his shoulder. He never bragged, never explained, and never claimed anything special. He simply treated the cat like she was completely ordinary. That almost made the aliens more nervous. The horizon continued deeper into the strange region of space. Because of the Silkfang attack, the captain ordered an emergency scan of the surrounding area. The sensors struggled again, but finally displayed something unusual, a faint signal pattern that did not match any known species or faction. The captain called Cade to the command deck. When Cade entered, everyone turned toward him instinctively, with both respect and caution. Momo sat on his shoulder, tail flicking freely. "We scanned the area," the captain said, pointing at the holographic screen. "Something is out there, something big." Cade stepped closer. The signal looked unstable, like it was being cloaked or distorted. It pulsed slowly, almost like a heartbeat. "What do you think?" the captain asked. Cade observed quietly. "It's not Silkfangs, this is different." One of the Dravak warriors grunted. "Are we dealing with more monsters?" Cade shook his head. "No, this feels organized." His words made the entire command deck tense. One Cathari navigator leaned forward, her antennae trembling. "You believe an intelligent species is involved." "I think something is watching us," Cade said, "and the Silkfang may have been pushed toward the ship on purpose." That idea terrified everyone. A Silkfang attack was already bad, but something controlling them, or worse, driving them, was a nightmare none of the crew wanted to face. The captain ordered full surveillance. For hours, the ship moved carefully while the crew monitored readings. Every beep from the sensors made them jump. Every shadow looked suspicious. Meanwhile, Momo wandered around the command deck, ignoring all the fear. She curled up on a railing, cleaned her paws, and then slept again. One Cathari navigator whispered, "How can she rest at a time like this?" Cade smiled slightly. "She always sleeps before something important." The aliens did not know how to interpret that answer. Later, when the lighting dimmed for night cycle, the ship became quiet. Crew members returned to their rooms, though many could not sleep. The idea that an unknown force was nearby kept their minds racing. Cade stayed awake, sitting on his bed with Momo beside him. The cat stared at the wall, ears twitching slightly. Cade understood her behavior. "You sense it too," he whispered. Momo did not respond, but her eyes narrowed. Cade gently touched her fur. His expression stayed calm, but inside he felt the tension rising. He knew their journey was going to become more dangerous before it became safer. Suddenly, the ship alarms activated again. A sharp, rising siren echoed through every hallway. The announcement followed. "Unidentified object approaching the ship. All crew to alert positions." Cade stood immediately. Momo leapt onto his shoulder. Together they hurried to the command deck. When he arrived, the holographic screen displayed the object. It was massive, larger than the horizon by several times. The shape was uneven, almost organic, covered in shifting plates that resembled stone and metal at the same time. The crew gasped. "What is that?" a Celari healer whispered. "No known design," a navigator answered. "No signals, no communication, no energy pattern we understand." The alien ship or creature slowly circled the horizon as if studying it. The captain ordered all shield systems on standby. "Do not fire," he said. "We do not know if it's hostile." But nobody felt safe. The strange entity finally stopped moving. A circular section on its hull opened, revealing a glowing tunnel. The crew stepped back instinctively. The ship was trying to connect, or trying to pull them in. "Is it a docking request?" one alien asked nervously. Cade stepped closer. "Not a request, it's an invitation." "Why would they invite us?" a Dravek warrior asked. Cade looked at the dark opening. "Because they think we're weak." Momo growled softly, a rare sound that made several aliens freeze. No one had ever heard the small cat growl before. It was low, sharp, and full of warning. The captain exhaled. "We need to know what we're dealing with. We can't fire blindly." Cade nodded. "We'll go inside." The crew stared at him in shock. "You and the cat?" someone asked. Cade answered calmly. "Momo will protect us." The aliens exchanged terrified looks, but they knew Cade was right. Someone had to go, and Cade was the only one who moved with certainty instead of fear. A small team prepared to enter the glowing tunnel. Cade walked at the front. Momo balanced lightly on his shoulder. Behind him followed 2 Dravek warriors and 1 Celari healer. The tunnel felt alive. Its walls shifted softly, glowing with pale veins of light. The air was cool and carried a strange, almost metallic scent. The deeper they went, the more the ship hummed around them. Momo's fur bristled. Cade whispered, "Stay ready." At the end of the tunnel, they reached a wide chamber lit with dim blue light. It looked like the inside of a creature's stomach fused with a machine's interior. Strange shapes moved inside the walls like something breathing. A voice echoed, not spoken but felt directly in their minds. "We have observed you." The crew froze. "You travel with a creature we do not understand," the voice continued. "Its presence is an anomaly." Momo hissed lightly. Cade's hand reached toward her protectively. The voice strengthened. "Your vessel entered our domain." The Silkfang was only a test. The aliens' hearts dropped. Cade narrowed his eyes. "What do you want?" There was a long, heavy silence, then the voice whispered, "We want your creature." Momo's eyes began to glow. And every alien suddenly realized, the Silkfang was only the beginning. The chamber grew colder the moment the voice said those words. The aliens who stood behind Cade felt something heavy press on their minds, like invisible hands gripping their thoughts. Momo stood perfectly still on Cade's shoulder, her tail low, her eyes glowing faintly as if she understood the danger far better than any of them. Cade kept his voice calm. "You cannot have her." The voice responded immediately. "The creature does not belong to your species." Cade stepped forward. "She is with me. She stays with me." The walls around them shifted, creating ripples of light that moved like waves. Shapes inside the walls pressed forward but never fully revealed themselves. They seemed alive yet trapped, like shadows frozen inside liquid glass. "We have studied millions of life forms," the voice continued. "None behave as this one does, none hold this energy." One Dravek warrior whispered, "Energy? What energy?" He lifted his weapon but his hands shook. The voice answered him directly. "You feel it too, the pressure, the bending of the air." The distortion. The Dravak's scales trembled. He stepped back. Cade touched Momo gently. "She's only a cat." The chamber reacted violently. The walls pulsed brighter and the floor vibrated as if something enormous was moving directly beneath them. "You speak untruth," the voice said. "This being is more than a simple creature." Momo growled again, louder this time. The glowing veins in the walls dimmed for a brief moment, almost as if the ship itself became afraid of her. The Celari healer whispered, "This vessel," it responded to her. Cade watched carefully. "You're scared of her." The voice paused, not out of confusion, but out of something closer to frustration. "We do not fear, we evaluate." Cade stared at the walls. "You're lying." The Dravek warrior placed a clawed hand on Cade's shoulder. "Do not provoke it," he muttered, but the voice had lost its controlled tone. Now it echoed faster, sharper. "You will surrender the creature." "It is necessary for our research." Cade's expression hardened. "No." The walls thickened, shifting into shapes that resembled tendrils. Slowly they stretched toward Cade and the cat. The air tightened as the temperature dropped again. The Dravek warriors stepped forward to shield Cade, raising their weapons. The Solari healer moved behind them, gripping a small device used for energy bursts. The voice spoke once more. "We will take it by force." But before the tendrils could touch them, a sharp sound cut through the chamber. A low, rumbling growl filled the space. Momo's eyes glowed brighter now, two bright golden lights. The tendrils froze. The walls stopped moving. Even the voice hesitated. Cade whispered, "It's okay, girl." Momo leapt from Cade's shoulder and landed silently on the floor. Her small body cast a surprisingly long shadow under the blue glow. She took a step forward, then another, moving toward the center of the chamber. The ship responded immediately. The walls pulled back as if giving her space. The crew watched in disbelief. The Solari healer whispered, "She's affecting it." The voice returned, but it was softer now. "This cannot be correct. This creature is too small, too simple." Momo tilted her head slightly, studying the shadows in the wall, then she raised her paw and tapped the floor once. The entire chamber shook. The Dravek warriors nearly fell backward. The Solari healer clung to Cade's arm for balance. Cade himself widened his eyes, not in fear but in recognition. He had seen Momo do something like this before, long ago, on a forgotten mission that still haunted him. The voice was no longer calm. It trembled. "This power, how is this possible?" Momo stepped closer to the wall. With one swipe of her paw, she traced a quick motion. A glowing crack spread across the surface like lightning. The alien ship groaned loudly. The Dravek warrior shouted, "Is she attacking the ship?" Cade answered quietly, "No, she's warning it." The voice returned, sounding strained. We understand, we will not take her." The glowing crack slowly faded as Momo lowered her paw. She turned back to Cade, tail flicking as if everything was normal. Cade knelt to pick her up. "Good girl." The chamber dimmed to a soft, trembling blue. The voice spoke again, now almost humble. "We will return you to your vessel." A glowing tunnel opened behind them. The Dravek warriors rushed toward it. The Solari healer followed quickly. Cade walked last, Momo resting quietly in his arms. As they entered the tunnel, the voice whispered one final message. "She is not from your world." Cade stopped walking. The voice continued. "You do not know what you carry. The creature is older than your species, older than many empires. She is a remnant of something lost." Cade's eyes narrowed. "You don't know her either." "You are wrong," the voice said. "We know enough to fear." The tunnel closed behind them, and a moment later, the away team stood back inside the horizon. The ship's alarms went silent. The alien vessel drifted backward, creating distance. Then the massive ship vanished into a burst of white light. The Horizon crew stared through the viewing screen, speechless. The captain rushed toward Cade. "What happened? What did it want?" Cade looked down at Momo, who was now grooming her paw peacefully. "It wanted her," Cade said, "but it changed its mind." The aliens exchanged looks of confusion, awe, and fear. One Solari healer whispered, "What is she?" Cade stroked the cat's fur. "She's my companion." The Dravek warrior stepped forward. "But is she Earthborn?" Cade hesitated. "That doesn't matter," he said finally. "She's with me." The captain exhaled and nodded slowly. "We will avoid this region from now on. Prepare the engines. We're leaving." As the horizon turned away, the crew continued to look at Momo with a mixture of respect and uncertainty. The little cat curled in Cade's arms and fell asleep once more. But deep inside the ship, everyone knew something important had changed. The Silkfang wasn't the real threat, and the alien vessel wasn't the last challenge. Whatever Momo truly was, the universe wanted her. After the alien vessel disappeared into the white flash of light, the horizon floated in silence. No one spoke for several minutes. The crew stood frozen at their stations, trying to accept what they had witnessed. A small Earth cat making an entire living ship retreat was something their minds struggled to accept. Even the strongest warriors felt their courage shaking. Cade walked calmly through the command deck with Momo resting on his shoulder again. The cat looked peaceful, as if nothing unusual had happened. She blinked lazily at everyone staring at her. The captain finally broke the silence. "We need answers, real answers this time." Cade gave a small nod. "I know." The captain lowered his voice. "You've encountered something like this before, haven't you?" The crew listened closely. Every ear, antenna, and scale leaned toward Cade. Cade met the captain's gaze. "Yes, once." The room trembled with whispers. Even Momo paused her quiet purring as if she remembered the moment too. A Solari healer stepped forward. "What happened?" Cade breathed slowly. "Years ago, during a mission near the outer colonies, our ship crashed on an unknown world. I was the only one awake after the impact. Our supplies were limited, and the planet was full of dangerous creatures. He paused for a moment. One night something attacked our camp, something fast, something we could barely see. The crew stood still, waiting for the next words. Cade continued. I grabbed my weapon, ready to fight, but before I could fire, a small creature leapt out of nowhere and took it down. Just ended it. A Dravek warrior asked. The creature was her? Cade nodded. Yes, Momo appeared after the crash. She wasn't on the ship before that. I don't know where she came from. I don't know how she found me. But she saved my life. He stroked the cat gently. From that day, she stayed with me. The aliens exchanged wide-eyed looks. The captain rubbed his forehead. So she arrived out of nowhere and immediately protected you? No training. No origin. No origin, Cade repeated softly. Not one that I know. A Cathari navigator whispered, the alien ship said she's older than empires. Another replied, maybe she's a guardian species. Maybe she survived some ancient war. A Dravek warrior muttered, or maybe she destroys anything she wants. Momo flicked her ear and looked at the warrior with half-closed eyes, and he immediately stepped back. The captain raised a hand. Enough, speculation won't help us. We need to focus on our mission. But even as he said the words, the ship's lighting flickered again. Everyone turned toward the screens. Another signal? The captain asked. A navigator shook her head. No signal this time. Her voice trembled. Something is following us. The holographic display appeared. A faint dot moved behind the horizon, barely visible. It didn't look like a ship. It looked like an echo, an outline. Cade stepped forward. It's still watching. Is it the same alien vessel? A Selari healer asked. No, the navigator said quickly. This one is much, much smaller. The dot grew clearer. It looked like a floating shape, almost like a shadow with no light source. It seemed to bend the space around itself. The captain asked, is it dangerous? Before anyone could answer, Momo sat upright on Cade's shoulder. Her eyes sharpened, her fur bristled slightly. Cade whispered, she senses it. The shadow moved faster, approaching the horizon. Alarms rang through the command deck, red lights flashing along the walls. Brace for contact, the captain shouted. The shadow hit the ship, but there was no impact. Instead, the lights dimmed again and a deep hum filled every room. A strange energy washed over the horizon like a wave. The crew swayed, losing balance for a moment. What was that? A Dravek warrior growled. The navigator studied the screens. It didn't hit us, it passed through us. The word sent a chill through the room. Pass through? The captain ordered. Full scan of all decks. Check for breaches. Check for life signs. Teams spread through the ship. Cade stayed on the command deck. Momo perched silently, watching the screens as if she already knew what was happening. After several tense minutes, a report came from the lower decks. Something has appeared inside the cargo hold. The captain turned to Cade. It's here because of her. Cade nodded. Then we need to go. The entire team rushed toward the cargo hold. The halls felt colder. The lights flickered more frequently. The deep hum continued, vibrating through the metallic floor. Every alien in the group walked with their weapons raised, expecting another Silkfang or something worse. The moment they reached the cargo bay doors, the air shifted. Something heavy pressed down on them like an invisible force pushing on their chests. The doors slid open. Inside the cargo hold, a dark sphere floated above the floor. It was completely silent, surrounded by swirling pieces of dust and debris. It looked like emptiness shaped into a ball, a void inside space. The Dravek warrior, the cargo hold stayed silent long after the dark sphere vanished. The crew remained frozen, breathing heavily, trying to understand what had just happened. For the second time in a single day, something powerful had come for Momo. And for the second time, she had driven it away with almost no effort. Every alien looked at her differently now, no longer mocking, no longer confused, but deeply shaken. Cade held Momo close, stroking her fur to calm her. She relaxed in his arms, her golden eyes fading back into their normal soft yellow. The Dravek warrior watched her with wide, unblinking eyes. The Selari healer looked pale, gripping a crate for support. The captain arrived moments later, his expression tight. Report. Cade answered calmly, though his voice carried a weight it hadn't before. Another entity appeared, not physical. It was made of some kind of dark energy. It spoke to us. It wanted her. The captain stared at Momo. Why? What does it gain from a small creature? Before anyone could answer, the ship lights flickered again. The crew tensed immediately, expecting another attack. But this time the lights stabilized. A soft green glow filled the room for a moment, then faded. No alarms sounded. The Selari healer whispered, "What was that?" Cade looked down at Momo, who seemed relaxed again. I don't think that one was an enemy. The captain frowned. Explain. Cade hesitated. Momo reacts differently depending on danger. She didn't react to that green light. She only reacts when something means harm. Are you saying that was a message, a warning? The captain asked. Maybe, Cade said quietly. The Cathari navigator ran into the cargo hold, waving a data pad. Captain, you need to see this. A signal is appearing outside the ship. The crew hurried to the viewing area. The Horizon's main screen showed the emptiness of space, but then a faint shimmer appeared in the distance. Slowly, a structure formed out of shifting light, like a massive doorway opening into another dimension. It was tall, impossibly tall, with glowing patterns that looked ancient and alive. The Dravek warrior whispered, I do not like this. The captain stepped forward. Is it a portal? The navigator nodded. It matches no known design. And it's stable. Something is calling us toward it. The Solari healer shivered, calling us. The navigator turned slowly toward Momo. Yes, and the signal is centered on her. The entire command deck turned to stare at the small cat. Cade gently held her close. They're tracking her. The captain rubbed his forehead. First the living ship, then the shadow, now this. Cade breathed slowly. Something ancient wants her, something older than the machines or the void creatures. This, he pointed at the glowing portal, looks like a civilization, one that didn't die out. The Dravek warrior growled softly, and they want her power. Cade nodded, or they fear it. The captain paced. If we enter that portal, we may not return. If we do not enter, they may force us inside. As if answering his words, the portal pulsed, sending a wave of energy across space. The horizon trembled, alarms sounded, tools rattled. The engines groaned, a voice crackled through the comms, not mechanical, not digital, but something ancient and resonant. Bring the ancient one, alone. The aliens flinched. The voice felt like it came from everywhere at once. The captain shouted, We are not sending anyone alone. The voice answered instantly, Then all will be taken. The ship shook again. Cade looked at Momo. She stared at the portal with calm, steady eyes as if she recognized it. Cade whispered, You've seen this before, haven't you? Somewhere, somehow. Momo blinked slowly. The captain turned to Cade. We can't hand her over. Cade nodded, I know. But we also can't fight this, the captain added. I know that too. The crew stood in silence as another wave of energy hit the ship. Cade straightened. Let me take her, not alone, but I will go. The captain opened his mouth to protest, but Cade raised his hand. She trusts me. And whatever waits inside that portal, she may understand it better than we ever could. The Dravek warrior stepped forward. I will go too. No, Cade said gently. If they see a team, they might see it as a threat. The Solari healer added softly. Then take me. I can read energy. I can help communicate. Cade looked at her for a moment. All right, 2 people, no more. The captain sighed. This is reckless, dangerous, but we have no choice. Cade nodded once. Prepare a shuttle. The crew hurried to follow orders. Momo sat on Cade's shoulder as he walked toward the docking bay, her tail curling around his neck. The shuttle was small but fast. Cade and the Solari healer stepped inside, Momo curling on Cade's lap. The portal glowed brighter, as if sensing their readiness. The shuttle detached and moved slowly toward the enormous doorway of light. Inside the command deck, the crew watched with fear and hope. As the shuttle neared the portal, the healer whispered, Do you feel that? It's warm. Cade nodded. Not hostile, not yet. The portal widened, opening like a blooming flower made of energy. The shuttle passed through. For a moment there was only light, pure, blinding, infinite. Then the light faded, revealing a vast space that did not look like normal space at all. There were islands of floating stone, rivers of glowing mist, and structures that looked ancient and alive. A world built between dimensions. Cade whispered, Where are we? Momo stood abruptly, her body tense, her eyes glowing gold. The healer touched Cade's arm. Something is coming. From the mist, a massive figure appeared, tall, elegant, with glowing patterns across its form. It looked neither solid nor ghost-like, but something in between. The voice from earlier echoed around them. You have brought the Ancient One. Momo hissed softly. The figure bowed its head. We mean no harm, it said. We are her creators. Cade's heart stopped. Creators. Momo stepped forward, looking at the figure with recognition. The healer whispered, trembling, Oh stars, she isn't a pet. The figure lifted its head. She is the last guardian of our world. Momo's eyes burned like light itself. And Cade realized something terrifying. The universe wasn't chasing her because she was dangerous. It was chasing her because she was their only hope. The great figure stood before the shuttle, tall and shimmering like a being made of starlight and memory. Its glowing patterns shifted slowly across its form, forming symbols Cade could not understand. Floating stone islands drifted peacefully around them, like pieces of a world that once existed but was now broken apart. Soft winds moved through the mist, carrying faint echoes of voices long gone. Momo stepped forward onto the edge of the shuttle, her small paws barely making a sound. The glowing guardian lowered its head toward her with respect, as if greeting an old friend. Cade whispered, "She knows them." The Solari healer nodded slowly, eyes wide. "She remembers." The guardian spoke in a calm, deep voice that vibrated through the air. "You have protected her well, traveler." Cade held his breath. "Who is she?" The guardian looked gently at the small cat. "She is the last of the starbound guardians, protectors of our ancient realm. When our world fell, we sent her beyond the veil. She drifted for thousands of years until she found you." Cade looked down at Momo, who sat quietly, watching the guardian with calm, intelligent eyes. "Why me?" "You were chosen," the guardian said. "Not by us, by her." The healer whispered, "She saved him after the crash because she recognized him." The guardian nodded. "A guardian bonds to a heart it trusts, not to power, not to strength, to kindness." Momo nuzzled gently against Cade's boot, confirming the truth without words. Cade knelt and stroked her fur. "So she isn't from Earth at all?" "No," the guardian replied. "She only took that form, a simple form, a quiet form. One that would not draw attention." The healer stepped forward. "But the void creature, the living ship, all the others, they wanted her." "They fear her power," the guardian said, "for she is the last living key to an ancient force. A force that protected galaxies long before your civilizations rose." Cade stood. "If she's so powerful, then why did she hide?" The guardian looked at the floating ruins. "Because she lost everything, her people, her home, her family. She wandered alone, weakened, until she reached your world. Your presence helped her heal. Your bond restored her strength." Momo blinked and meowed softly, as if confirming every word. The guardian continued, "Now the universe senses her awakening. Those who want balance seek her. Those who want destruction hunt her." Cade exhaled slowly. "And what about you? What do you want?" The guardian's light dimmed slightly, almost sadly. "We want only to protect her, but we cannot take her. She has chosen you." The healer gasped, "Chosen him?" Cade stepped back in surprise. "Me, but I'm just a man." The guardian shook its glowing head. "Kindness is not just. Loyalty is not just. Courage is not just. She needs a companion, not a cage. She needs companionship, not command." Momo leapt into Cade's arms, curling into him. The guardian spoke softly. "She has already made her decision." The air trembled as the portal behind them pulsed again. Faint rumbles echoed across the floating realm, and the guardian turned toward the horizon. Cade frowned. "What's happening?" "Others are coming," the guardian said. "Those who hunger for her power, they followed the trail of energy. They will reach this place soon." The healer trembled. "Can we fight them?" The guardian lowered its head. "Not with weapons. Not with ships, but with her choice." Cade looked down at Momo. Her eyes glowed again, but not with violence, with clarity. The guardian raised its hand. A small glowing fragment floated out from its palm, hovering before Momo like a falling star. "This is the last piece of our heart," the guardian said. "When joined with her, she will know her full strength." Cade hesitated. "Will it hurt her?" "No," the guardian said. "It will free her." Momo touched the glowing fragment with her paw. A brilliant light burst outward. The healer shielded her eyes. Cade held Momo tightly as her body glowed brighter and brighter until she became a silhouette of pure golden energy. The entire realm trembled. The floating islands cracked. The rivers of mist surged. When the light finally faded, Momo stood on the floor of the shuttle, still the same